Carl Jung describes the shadow as all those characteristics about ourselves that we have learned to disown and unconsciously repress, shove away from ourselves as not even being a part of ourselves. We looked at that in a couple of other segments. But today, it would be important, I think, to look at how do we know our shadow side? How do we discover what's there in that portion of ourselves that we call the shadow? How do we know what is unconscious? If it's unconscious, how do we get to know it? Well, there are four different ways. The first is through dreams, uh, to look at our night dreams and see negative characters, for example, that appear in our dreams. If a man, for example, is attacking us with a knife, um, it would be all right. Let's look at that figure and see what is this? What's attacking me right now? And I might look and say, well, one of the things is that I'm not eating right. I'm eating too many calories, and it's not helping my body. So I'm having this dream that I'm getting attacked. So I need to look within to see what is the attacking, what's the attacking aspect in my life right now. So dreams are one way. Projections are another way that I discover my shadow. Projection is the putting out there, seeing out there in the world around me, in another person or in an event, something that is really a part of myself. So, for example, I might see and be turned off by uh, the negativity in a person that I have just met, and the person seems very negative to me. Come away with this bad impression. The fact that I had this spontaneous bad impression of this person invites me to look within myself to see how is that negative thing that I just saw out there, how might it be reflected inside myself, in my own qualities? So if I saw this person as rude, for example, I might need to look within myself and say, what's the rude part of me? And it may not be that I'm rude toward someone else. I may be rude toward an aspect of myself by not paying attention to that part of myself. Uh, a thing that wants to come alive in me, but I'm rude to it by not paying attention to it. Something that, a quality, for example, of being studious, say, that I'm not studious enough anymore. And that quality wants to come alive in me more, and I'm being rude to it by not paying attention to it. So the shadow side can come out that way. The third way of coming to know just what is in our shadow, what has been repressed and shoved down and not looked at, would be to feel into our bodies. What has been, where is there pain? Am I experiencing pain in my stomach? Am I experiencing heart palpitations? It may give me a clue as to what I've been shoving down and not really looking at explicitly in my life. And by shoving it down, it's beginning to take a toll on my body, some pain, some discomfort. So looking at our bodies and then just sitting with that for a while and uh, asking, closing your eyes and just saying, what do you want to tell me, stomach, about that pain that you're feeling? Or what do you want to tell me, head, about what's going on inside you now? What's causing that headache? And really try to be open to what answer comes to you, what response comes to you. It may give you some clue. Um, but also what brings us joy, what brings joy to the body, what brings a sense of relief and happiness. That can tell us also something about an undeveloped side of ourself that we need to pay more attention to. some creative thing that we didn't really realize about ourselves. Maybe when you're watching a movie, that something comes alive and you feel great excitement. Look within and say, how can I bring something alive within myself more? What is the movie pointing me to? Or if I'm moved to tears in a movie, what is causing those tears? What do I see out there that may be reflected within myself? And that can give me a clue of what may not be looked at, something in my shadow. There can be a positive shadow, a negative shadow, something that needs to come alive, something that needs to be examined and be brought to light more so that it's clear in the daylight, not in the shadow. A fourth element that might be helpful to help us discover what's in our shadow is synchronicity. We've talked a little bit about that before, but synchronicity is the juxtaposition of an outer event with some sort of inner response. An outer event happens, and I look at it, and there's some meaning for me to take from that outer event. I just stumbled on a stone. Uh, what am I stumbling on now? Um, what is what is this stumbling on the stone teaching me? Uh, it might be pointing out to me that I'm stumbling on something else in my life, maybe stumbling in a relationship that I'm not really looking carefully at, or stumbling on a project that I should be paying attention to, but I'm not. So that synchronicity is helping me to, that event of stumbling on the stone is helping me to look at something deeper in my life that I may be stumbling on, some shadow aspect that I'm not looking at sufficiently. And that helps me to open my life up and see my life in a more holistic, whole fashion. So those are the four elements: dreams, projections, what's happening in my body, and synchronicity. They can be real revelations to us.